Good morning, students. Physical Education, chapter number 10, Training and Doping in Sports. Today, topic covered meaning of sports training, concept of sports training, principles of sports training. Sports training. Training is a process of preparing an individual for any event, activity, or job. Usually in sports, we use the term sports training, which denotes the sense of preparing sports person for the highest level of performance. According to Matthews, sports training is the basic form of preparation of a sportsman, keeping in view the aim of sports training in competitive sports. The following objectives of sports training may be the set to reach the aim: personality development, physical fitness and development, skill technique development, tactical development, mental training. Now, concept of sports training. Training methods consist of training periods which split into training sessions and training sessions are further divided into training schedules. In training periods, the workout is performed in session which is made up of various schedules. Training has three parts. Number one, preparatory period, competition period, transitional period. Number one, preparatory period. In this period, player achieve the physical fitness and skill efficiency for the competition. It is practiced in three phases. Phase 1. In this phase of training, the player develops the general ability relating to physical fitness like strength and endurance along with basic skills. It is done by about 4 to 6 months. Phase 2. In this phase of training, the player develops the specific physical fitness ability like speed, flexibility, and coordinations. Player learns the mastery over advanced skills and techniques. It is done for about 2 month practice. Phase 3. In this phase of training, the player develops the tactics and strategies and tries to achieve every perfections for the competitions. Number 2, competition period. In this period, player participates in competition and aim to achieve top performance in competition. It can be divided into two phases. Number 1, in this phase, some practice matches are played where mistake are corrected. Number 2, in these phases, actual matches are played where motivation and feedback is provided for peak performance of player. Number 3, transactional period. This is relaxing period after competition. In this period, player recovers from competition stress and maintain physical ability for next competitions. Initially, recreational activities are performed. Afterward, similar types of activities are played along with recreations. Now, physical principle of sports training. It is human natures for formulate principles. These serves as a important function of helping the human beings to regulate their activities in order to achieve their goals. Principles of sports trainings are the guidelines for the formulations, implementations, and regulations of sports training. Following are the principles of sports training. Number one, principle of specificity. According to the principle, exercising a certain part of component of the body develop that part. Every sports has its own requirement. The type of training should be based on specific requirement of particular sports for which training is to be given. Example, a long distance runner should be trained for endurance, whereas a gymnast should be trained for flexibilities. Principle of progressions. According to this principle, the principle should be arranged in a systematic way, that is simple to complex. The overload should not be increased too rapidly. The training load should be increased only when the person has adopted the previous load, otherwise it can result in injury. Number 3, principle of individual difference. As every individual is different, so the exercise for each person should be different. The basic fitness level of every person varies, and everyone cannot be given the same level of exercise. A training program should be properly planned, and individual difference like pace, like age, weight, height, sex, etc. should be taken into account. Principle of continuity. According to the principle, training should be continuous process. There should not be any breaks in between or period of inactivity. Discontinuity of training decrease the physiological ability of sports person. Principle of overload. Overload is additional stress on the body. It is essential to achieve the higher standard of fitness. Overload should be gradually increased to permit adjustment to take place without excessive fatigue due to overwork. Overload can be achieved by increased intensity, frequency, and durations. Overload result is in increased strength, flexibility, and endurance depending on the nature of training. Principle of variety. To content of training program must have variety in order to prevent boredom. Training sessions should alternate between heavy, light, and moderate exercise. Same type of program should not be given every day. Various methods may be used to provide variety in the program. Principle of proper rest. Proper rest should be given to the individual during and after the training. Period of recovery are needed to continue progressive loading without the risk of injuries or overtraining. Proper rest will be helpful to remove the fatigue, mental as well as physical, lack of sufficient rest and sleep will affect the efficiency of the performance and training. Principle of motivations. Motivation is the essential for effective training in organizing a fitness training program. Realistic goals should be set up and efforts should be made to achieve those goals. As goals are achieved, motivations is enhanced. Nothing success like success. Nothing succeeds like success. Principle of regularity. According to the principle, the training should be done on regular basis. It is continuous process and there should not be a long gap between the training program. If is if there is a gap between training, the achieved fitness level will be decreased. Number 10, principle of active involvement. The principle of active involvement means that for an effective training programs, the athlete must willing participate in activity. Number 11, principle of durations. The sports training programs are developed through various training cycles such as micro and meso and microcycle. Macrocycle duration 3 to 12 months, mesocycle duration 3 to 6 weeks, microcycle duration 3 to 10 days. Thank you. Stay home and safe.